Welcome to another episode of Sneaks, Rhymes, and Life. I am your host, Lionel McDonald. So, we are going to dive into the world of collabs today. And the collab game has changed so much, but this is all sparked by, one of the probably more recent hip hop groups. Griselda has made an announcement that they are now going to partner. West Side Gun shared it. They're going to now partner with Saucony. So, hey, you haven't seen a Saucony shoe a while. This is the Triumph 4 if you're watching on YouTube. They're going to do the Triumph 4 and the Omni 9, but Saucony, like New Balance, like Brooks, to a lesser extent, not on a fashion sense, but a performance sense, has really taken the sneaker market by storm. And there's now a focus on athleisure use of some of these high-end running shoes. 10, 12 years ago, these are shoes that people would only run in. Now they've become fashion pieces. We think about New Balance, and probably would tell you right now, they are the kings slash queens of sneaker collaborations. So they work with Jack Harlow, they got Action Bronson, they have Emine Benson, Joe Freshgoods, JJ Jound is in the mix. So yeah, there's a lot of collaborations. New Balance, they're limited, hard to find them. They always sell out. So this is good for some energy. And hey, 5-6 years ago, there were really only two brands to really collaborate. Nike would be one / Jordan Brand. And hey, we saw a ton of stuff that they're still doing. Travis Scott's. Rest in peace. Virgil had his own collaboration. They made a special shoe for Mark Wahlberg. They made another one for Justin Timberlake. The names that they would collaborate were endless. The best fashion. There's a Dior shoe that you just name it. There are so many collaborations Nike has done. They have a Swarovski shoe coming out in an Air Force One. It's going to retail like for 400, 450 in Canadian. So not so many people will buy it, but for those that like the limited items, that is something that's going to be available. But Nike was the king. It didn't matter what was happening. But a few years later, we talked about, the early 2010s, Adidas shows up with the Pharrell collaborations. They started to work with Missy, and then obviously we know what happened with Kanye West, the good, and literally they had the sneaker game on lock. And there were so many, from the 350s to the 700s to the 500s. They had the shoe that was in demand. It was $300 Canadian, two something in the US, and they would launch in select stores and in their own platforms, and every single colorway would sell out. You go back and now you look at 750s, like 40 colors of these shoes. It even meant something when they introduced a premium slide that was more expensive than any other slide that was on the market. And because of the name and because of the history of that collaboration, there may be nothing better than that since. And it sold out every single time. Things have changed, the relationship soured, and now they've had to move on. There's still some things that they are doing, and will probably find ways to continue to bring energy into the business. They're now working with Messi, so there is Messi Sambas and so many other cool things that are out there. But New Balance really, is kind of the one that is creating the most energy in the sneaker market, because where the pendulum is swung last few years, we were all about, pre-pandemic and then into the pandemic, we were all about Jordans. We were all about cup sole shoes. So we needed Air Force, we needed Dunks, we needed Blazers, we needed anything that looked like that. We had just left a running market from previously that was an athleisure or a fashion looking running shoe in the Yeezy. Then we've now gotten to, because some of the product was not available, people started to branch out. Influencers started to wear Sambas on Fifth Avenue. People started to wear Saucony or Saucony, depending how you want to pronounce it. and New Balance became a huge player. Started with the 550 that kind of brought their business back. Less people are wearing 550s. They're still doing some advertising behind it, but now 1906, 2002, 990, 990, 9060. The women's banger right now is the 530, and there's so many collaborations that are being done with that shoe. There's been a increased demand for New Balance, the core ones and the special ones. So New Balance is not letting go of this anytime soon, and they're going to continue to fight for their market share. Some of the big boys try to find a way to weave themselves back into the game. But saying that, having Griselda, a hardcore hip hop group out of all places, Buffalo. This is why I got my Buffalo swag. I got a Benny the Butcher shirt on for those watching on YouTube. I got a Buffalo Bills toque. I love to go to a Bills game every once in a while, even though I'm a Commanders fan. But Buffalo's making some noise. Buffalo's made some noise. You know, if we talk about Griselda as a group, and it's just like, well, why are they working with them? What does Griselda mean? Well, Griselda essentially, it comes from the drug lord Griselda Blanco. That's kind of where they've gotten the name from, but it's a loose knit group of a variety of different hardcore art acts. Some directly out of Buffalo, but when we talk about Armani Caesar, Benny the Butcher, which I have the shirt, Burden of Proof, which launched in 2020, is still one of my favorite albums of the 2020s. Bodily James, West Side Gun, which is kind of the figurehead. I've been part of the driving force, and then they're kind of loosely connected, maybe not connected officially, but Conway the Machine and West and Mac Homie kind of make up the Griselda group as we've known it over the years. Now, one of the things about this almost feels like the No Limit days of the late to mid to late 1990s. There is so much product. I think it's every year these artists are putting out 2 albums, a compilation album, things they're doing together, independently, singles. So they are absolutely dominating the game. When we just talk about Griselda alone, there was a soundtrack, then one specific album that they did, WWCD, but then West Side Gun has Pray for Paris. He has Supreme Blientel, Fly God, which is kind of the debut. I mentioned Benny the Butcher, Burden of Proof, and then Tana Talk 1, 2, 3, 4. West Side Gun, Pray for Me, Still Praying, which is the one that just came out earlier this year. So they have so much material. They're one of the most influential rap groups that are out there right now, but definitely underground hardcore. You're not going to see them up for a Grammy. That's just not their steez or not their focus. But there are so many things that they've done. The Plugs that I met, another great project by Benny the Butcher. So they have a ton of things that they've put out there over time. And now to have a collaboration, which was going to influence not only the hip hop community, but the sneaker community, as many times they're woven all together. This is a good sign that another brand can step into this space and really work with artists of high quality that are respected, but also finding a way to connect with people in a whole new light by leveraging the heritage of the Saucony or Saucony brand and really finding a way to touch people in a whole new way. Now, as I showed you with the Saucony that I have, a lot of metallics, a lot of bright colors they'll do these in. But this is going to be good for business. This is going to be good for another sneaker option that will be out there in the marketplace. So having that energy, having another choice, will bring more eyes to the running, I guess, trail that we're on right now. And as cup sole shoes have kind of slid to the side, and everyone is now bringing their running models out of the archives and finding ways to redo and up the ante on some of the things that have been done. New Balance 9060 is a perfect example. The running look meets the fashion play, and it's been a banger, and probably will be a banger into next year. But this will continue to evolve. Other brands like Nike and Adidas have challenged to bring some of their best stuff that have matched up with some of the changes people have wanted, and it is, call it that Y2K sneaker look is what is into play, because this is where some of these New Balances, 990 most notably, and hey, the DMV and Baltimore, that is their shoe. They really have embraced that shoe over the last couple decades and really made that important. But at the same time, now we're looking at other shoes that mean something across North America and into Europe and Australia that will definitely impact the sneaker market. So having a new collaboration partner, having it in the hip hop community definitely means something. It's going to help drive the business and drive choice. I think is one of the key things that the sneaker community has talked about. We want choice. We want to see other brands and other options that are available. So exciting times for sure. Boom, 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 boom. Griselda strikes again. So that's all I got for this episode. This is a short one. We got lots of other things that are on the way, but was inspired by Bima to really talk about this and what does this mean to me? What does this mean to the sneaker community that I'm a part of? So it's a special one. It is going to mean something. And Saucony is a brand. If you don't see it now, 2025, you're going to see Saucony, not everywhere, but have the biggest presence it's had in many, many years. It is really retracted to, end users and stores, running stores and their own personal platforms. But in some of the major retailers, you'll see Saucony in the marketplace. So having another option for people to take on is going to be a good thing. But that's it. Sneaks, Rhymes, and Life. We out for this episode. Stay tuned. Who knows what will happen with the Bills? Big game they have this week as I'm recording on a Saturday. I guess there will be a significant reaction of where they are. They almost got the East on lock at this point, it being 8-2, but their arch rivals are the Chiefs, and they play Sunday, so it'll be interesting. Taylor Swift will be in the house. The funny thing is, she's in my city. She's in Toronto. She's done 2 shows. She's got one tonight, and then she'll be in Buffalo, which is a 2-hour drive from here, so she'll cross the border. She's back later in the week. Next week to do 3 more shows as she's doing her Eras tours. So didn't think Taylor Swift would make into this, but she's a part of things that are happening in the world, and the traffic in the city is at an all-time high. But there are fans like my daughter that absolutely love her. So very interesting that how things are transcending. But yeah, lots of things happening in the world and the NFL, and take a moment as I wrap this one up, really think about everything that is now happening in Gaza. The U.S. has changed presidents, and yes, there will be a change in leadership. That's what the people have voted. But I really feel for the people in Gaza that are essentially being wiped off our planet at the hands of Israel. I know it's a political statement. Sometimes people don't want to hear that. But there's a genocide happening in Israel, or in Gaza, at the hands of the Israel army, and many significant nations are providing the weaponry and call it the killing machines for what is happening there. So prayers to all those in Gaza. If you can support them, please do. There's lots of people that have GoFundMes that are out there, but just felt like I needed to end on that note. It is kind of a sad time that is happening. This has been going on for 400 days, and no end in sight. These people are living in tents, which had their own bustling community 400 days ago. So it's kind of sad, and definitely has a piece of my heart for what is happening there. But stay strong, stay safe, and enjoy your holiday season. We'll be back with the next episode. Sneaks, Rhymes, and Life. We out.